Stitch Cuties. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Julie.
And together we're the mother-daughter duo of Stitches of Love. In this video, you are going to teach us such a beautiful stitch, the Fishbone Feather Stitch.
However, I'm going to teach you my method.
So we do recommend having the hand embroidery pocket guide, but what you do is slightly different than the illustration they give you.
To me, it's easier.
Both are right.
Yeah. Well, you get the same kind of look. So I'm going to come up at the base of my little leaf. And most of the time, I only do these on leaves. Am I in the screen?
You sure are, yeah.
And then I'm going to come to the very point up here to the top.
Oh, you are doing it different. I like this.
And I'm going to take a stitch down here. That gives me a divider through the middle of the leaf. And so then I take a stitch, a needle's width away from where I was, from the center. Pull this, and I come down and I take a stitch on the opposite side of that divider thread. So come right here. And then I come back up to the top on the right side of the stitch, my divider stitch, my initial stitch. Can't see this very well, you guys. I'm so sorry. Bear with me.
Go down to the right. There you go.
It's a little bit quicker when you're doing it in your hand, close to your face, you know. And so then I come down a little bit, about even with where I was before.
On the opposite side now of that
on the
divider
left
line.
side of the divider. Whoops, I moved it. Sorry, guys. And make that stitch. And then again, close. Right.
So one needle width away.
Yeah, but down a little bit, slightly down. That I've actually had my needle in too far. Down a little too far, I think.
And you're going again on top of that divider thread.
Mm-hmm. And then come up here close to the other one. You'll start to see it take shape after a few stitches.
I love the texture that you get down the center.
And then, you know, shove that little center guideline thread, you know, shove it back and forth so it stays in the middle.
I think a stitch like this is also a really fun stitch to do with a variegated thread.
And I'll have to say it may look a little bit nicer on a fatter design, thicker or wider design. That's what I should say. Wider, not fatter. And that stitch right there is too far down.
Now, if that happens, can you just come back on your next one and go up instead of down? Fix it without anyone noticing?
Yeah, you can.
See, that's what's fun about hand embroidery is you can kind of fix it before you're done. This is already looking so beautiful. You're being a little hard on yourself.
Am I?
Mm-hmm. Which we probably all are when we're stitching, right? I know a lot of times when I'm stitching something, I'm sometimes embarrassed to want to show mom. I'm like, oh, I didn't do as good as I should have here or here. But then when I show it to her, I mean, she is my mom, so she's going to be nice to me, but I don't think you actually see.
Well, no, but I would tell you if something's really got a problem. So this is where I had a problem before. I'm just going to tuck my needle into that little area.
Between the threads.
Between those two threads and tuck it in here and get that stitch to come down in just so I can fill my leaf.
And look at that. None the wiser when you're done with your project.
I don't think it looks as good, but you know, it will not matter in the long run.
I think this is such a beautiful stitch. Where else could you do it? You said you use it mostly on leaves. I think it would be really fun on flower petals. Actually, the flower that's on this project would be a really fun, if that was all feather stitch, because that one's stitched in a blendable, a variegated thread. That would really be a beautiful flower, I think.
Probably. But to me, it looks like a leaf. You know, having the divided, you know, how it sort of divides down the middle, it makes it look leaf-like.
So pretty. And again, isn't it just so therapeutic to watch her stitch? You could just mute us and watch her stitch and it'd be fun.
You might prefer to mute us again.
I'm not recommending it all the time, but
that stitch, that other one. I can't, as you can tell, I can't see that side very well. So, but I think if you'll look on this left side, you'll get the drift of what we're trying to achieve.
Again, I think you're being very hard on yourself. It's looking lovely.
Yeah, there's a gap in there. It would look like a funny leaf, but you know, in nature, they're not all perfect either, right?
Exactly.
As you get closer and thinner, you can, your stitch where you place your needle next to the center can get longer, but you're on the outside, you still need to be close to it. Does that make sense?
Yes, because you want to follow that shape that's printed for you so that
Yeah.
you have that leaf shape.
I'm not pleased with this at all because I would like it to be closer together. But you get the idea, and that's the main thing.
I think it looks great. Yeah, I think it looks great. And the method, the only difference in what the book does versus what you do is they're basically doing a back stitch every time through the middle versus you give yourself that guideline. So I have to agree with you. I like that guideline kind of already being there, so I stay straight from the beginning. And it's building that texture on top of that center thread.
Yeah, I like it. I saw somebody do this. I can't remember who gave me this idea, but
I've never seen it done that way. That I do it how the book does. But I'm going to do this next time, I think.
When you get to the end, you're just at the end.
And you just nod off. And let's see that. I think that's beautiful.
I think it has some issues, but but again, I hope y'all will understand. It's just kind of the basic technique is what I'm trying to show you. Typically, they will turn out better. If you can see what you're doing. Those, to me, those little spaces in between, you don't want.
You can always go back and fill in. And again, grab a scrap piece of fabric, give yourself a little like loopy oval, and just try it before you maybe stitch it on your real project.
Draw a loop.
Draw a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just practice.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed that, and you'll subscribe for more videos on our YouTube channel. And
in the meantime,
happy stitching.